The Planning Commission Board Adjustment Meeting, Tuesday, May 12th at 6:30 PM. And we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, so all rise. I pledge the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty
and justice for all.
Thank you, and we will start with a roll call.
Ayers? Here. Brisbane?
Here.
Weaver?
Here.
Tice?
Here.
Zierden?
Here.
All right, and then we'll move on to the open forum. If anyone in the audience has a topic of conversation that's not currently on the meeting agenda, please approach the podium, state your name and address, and share with us, please. Not witnessing anyone running to the microphone, we will go ahead and close the open forum, and we'll move on to approve the minutes from the April 14th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. Does anyone have a motion to approve the minutes, or is there any adjustments that are seen?
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. And then we'll move on to public hearing, conditional use application C26004, Christopher Cullen of 8156 County Road 11, Breezy Point, Minnesota. It's parcel 1016-1853, west 1/2 lot of 97, part of lot 97, southwest corner of lot 97, and then, and I'm not sure what that's abbreviation for.
Northerly.
Thank you. Distribution distance of 200 feet along of SD Lot 97 to NW Corner 8th addition to Breezy Point Estates. And it's to construct 200 feet by 10 feet mini storage units. It is a Zone C, which is commercial. So we're opening the public hearing, and we'll start with the applicant presentation. So if you'd please approach the podium, state your name and address.
Chris Cullen, address 31310 Summer Drive, Breezy Point. So, yeah, and so basically, I am looking to build two mini storage units. They'll be 10 foot by 100 foot. We've got a substantial amount of parking and turnaround area. There should be enough area within the parking spot and within where it sits with the impervious space. There should be more than enough parking for people to actually literally could park there. There's enough parking there. I think I've got about 40 foot between the two units. So, which there won't ever be, 20 vehicles there at one time, but there would be plenty of room. So it should not impact the neighborhood at all. It fits in with everything else within the area. The whole airport, all the hangars, those are, a majority of those, or a good portion of them are just used for storage alone, not even holding airports. So it conforms with everything else in the neighborhood, and it's zoned commercial, so it doesn't impact any of the neighbors. Even the neighboring businesses will not impact them at all. In fact, some of the other businesses might choose to rent some of the units to kind of, I guess, but yeah, it should be very clean and straightforward. The construction will follow all Minnesota building standards, the Minnesota standards. We're gonna do thickened edge slabs and 2x4 framing with a single slope. And so it'll match my office now. The colors will match my office, and it'll fit in very well. Whatever's not done, you probably have seen, I will extend out my sprinkler system so that it'll look really good. I plan to fence it in, probably plant some maple trees and make it look really nice. So it'll be a good thing for the community, and it should conform with pretty much every aspect of what that location is intended for. So, and then I know one of the other big things was, like I say, not to get in the way of any of the neighboring businesses or any of the other neighbors. Like I say, definitely will not get in the way of any of the other neighbors, so.
Can you describe the lighting and signage?
Yeah, so for the signage, I'll be complying with the whatever we have in the ordinances on it. Whether I put some signage in or not, I would plan to do whatever is there. It is one commercial building right now, one commercial property. So the signage, if I do decide to put signage back in, will be more focused on the real estate business. So I really don't feel like I would necessarily need, there might be like maybe a small sign with, a phone number or a website, probably more of a website where people can go on, or a QR code, something like that. But I really don't feel the need, or, if I'm gonna use my sign, allowance for my property, it'll be for the real estate, not for the mini storage. As for lighting, there will be some outdoor lighting and security cameras there. So we'll be able to monitor kind of who's coming and going. And so there will be lighting there. As far as the buildings themselves go, they will not be wired for electricity. So it'll be, kind of a dusk to dawn type of a situation.
Is there controlled access?
You mean like this?
Parking area?
That would be the ultimate plan, to do that. Kind of I would be doing it in phases. So I'd probably start out with phase one, probably put one building in, see how it goes. And then the plan would be my goal would be to get one of them in this year, maybe two, and then get the second one done next year, and then put in the fencing and kind of pick away at it. I know I've got 2 years on my conditional use permit, so I probably would use the 2 years and then plan to fence it in, and depending on what I have for, clientele and what everybody's looking for. Yeah, I could see doing like a gated entry type situation. So, yeah, I have to plan out. I know like some of the neighboring businesses actually plow into some of that area. So if I put a fence up right away, I don't want to impact them either. So would start out with good lighting, security cameras, and then see how it works. Because even with the snow and moisture and stuff, I want to make sure that I don't like impact anybody else. So, and we are a pretty secure area. So,
Or the number of, is it gonna get built according to the plan with like 5 doors, or?
I've got, my plan right now is to do 10 by 10 units. I might do a 10 by 20.
So actually it'd be 10 doors instead of,
Yeah, and I wasn't sure how many doors how many doors I want to put in, but right now, the way that the plan is, yeah, it just, for whatever reason, it didn't put all the doors in but the layout is pretty much the same, but yeah, it'll be 10 doors right now is what I'm planning.
will they be white like the picture?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I probably would do white or gray.
Okay, not orange like some of the units I see.
No.
Okay.
No. I've spent a lot of time and energy to make my office look good, so I'm definitely not gonna be, aside from the deer eating my flowers, I'm not gonna be,
Okay.
putting in any orange doors or anything like that.
You have quite a bit of hard surface. Is there kind of something to do with the drainage? I mean, I know Jerry's got it on his, on the condition to surface water to be collected and treated on site.
Yeah, so really I guess it'd be the north and the east side, and again, that's kind of where, coming back to the fencing, kind of on that east side between myself and like where Ace is, I've been kind of allowing them to, we've kind of been, I'd say, maybe sharing the line a little bit with plowing and stuff. So kind of what my plan is right now is I'm gonna dig that out, probably down, a couple feet, put some rocks in there, and I'm actually gonna run it all the way down the property line between where my concrete is, where I've got rocks right now, and then I'm gonna dig it out and kind of put in like a French drain type of thing, just to control my office runoff, even though I don't know that I have any issues. I'm probably gonna do that, and then over on the west side, I'm gonna have to do something because I'm actually getting the neighboring. Now that they redid the road, it comes down and I'm getting puddles, but. So I'll probably do some kind of a French drain on each side of the east and the west side of my property, just to contain it. Which would be overkill. That's pretty much all sand back there anyway.
Right, but they still have a lot of hard surface.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned trees, which would be really nice if you had a nice screen. And we've requested that on some of the stuff in the past. I don't know if that's a thought, or, towards Airport Road. Cause you're basically the office towards 11, but Airport Road.
Yeah, kind of my thought is, you know, running west to east, putting in like maples in there. So when you come down the hill or maybe doing like a mix of like maybe some apple trees or some maples, primarily maples, cause I think it would just be really pretty, you know, in fall coming down the hill and seeing green grass and all the colors and stuff. So that's kind of my thought on it right now. And I like maple trees, so, but I could do pines. I'd rather not do pines because they're messy and I think that they just kind of get messy after a while. Where the maples are just really add a lot to that whole, you know.
I know the building down the road, we requested to put trees in, and the trees, I drove by there just now, and they're not much. And that's how many years ago? 5 at least?
Yeah.
At least.
So,
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's kind of already in my vision of kind of having it, you know. It is gonna be, I do wanna have, you know, I'm not, you know, honestly not trying to be the cheapest place to rent in town. That's not really where I'm at. I wanna have a very nice building and I wanna have, you know, I wanna have it to be a nice place where people are proud to bring their stuff. So that's kind of my vision, so.
Thank you.
Yep, you bet.
All right, moving on to staff review.
Excuse me. Conditional use application 26004. Applicant is Christopher Cullen. Property address is 8156 County Road 11. Property ID number is 101-61853. Legal description is elongated, and I won't repeat that. I think the chairman did a pretty decent job at that to begin with. Applicable city code is 153.040, 153.044, 153.045. And again, the conditional use request is to construct two 100 by 10 foot mini storage units for rental. Applicant has submitted an application for a CUP to construct storage units for rent. The property is zoned commercial. Applicable code there is 153.040. The parcel currently hosts a real estate office with an improved parking and green area. The current impervious coverage is 22.9%. The proposed impervious coverage is 45.9%. Upon review of the conditional use application, the commission needs to consider the findings as required in section 153.119E. In review, the commission should state whether or not the finding is acceptable towards granting the CUP, if applicable. The following findings must be met. The use or the development is an appropriate conditional use in the land use zoned. The property is zoned commercial and the request is appropriate under section 153.040. The use or the development with condition conforms to the comprehensive land use plan. The use with conditions is compatible with the existing neighborhood, and the use with the conditions would not be injurious to the public health, safety, welfare, decency, order, comfort, convenience, appearance, or prosperity of the city. There are some other findings that you should be considering, but I will not go through those. Applicant has filed the appropriate application for the CUP. He has paid the appropriate fee for the application. Public notice of conditional use hearing was published in the legal newspaper, and all property owners within 350 feet were given mailed notice of said hearing. Public hearing is being held as we speak. Staff has reviewed the site plan, the CUP application. 153.040 C24, storage units for rental or sale. Storage units for rental is an appropriate conditional use in a commercial zone. The following may be appropriate conditions for the approval of a CUP. Applicant shall obtain a building permit for storage structures. Applicant shall comply with all setback requirements. Siding and roofing of rental structure shall match the real estate office. Structure shall comply with the state building code. Surface water to be collected and treated on site. And any other conditions that the commission would so choose to attach.
The treating, can I ask a question? The treating of the water, do we need a plan on that, or?
Well, we'd ask for a plan, per se. I think he stated in his presentation that he
Right.
had some things in mind. We'd like to, if this is gonna be a condition, we'd ask him to provide us with, some plans as far as what's gonna be done so that we can follow through. We'd also probably take those plans and run it past the city engineer to make sure that everything is oil.
I would like to add the overhead doors to be either white or gray. I've seen so many of these orange ones that look like heck. And if that's, if that would be a condition that would
Okay.
work.
Jerry, if we add to have a water collection plan reviewed, does that need to come back here, or is that something we could say can be reviewed by staff and city
Construction
engineer?
plans are reviewed when we get the building permit application.
Okay.
Right now, you're talking about a land use specifically, but
So technically, we can't say gotta have a white or gray doors, huh?
you certainly can do that. That's aesthetic.
Or black even,
Yeah.
or earth tone, I guess, or,
Natural tones?
there you go.
I definitely won't be doing anything orange, so.
I'm writing that
Pink.
down.
Yeah, you can, yeah,
Thinking
no,
of the fall colors.
Yeah.
yeah, it'll match and look good, so. It's a reflection of my business as well, so I'm not gonna be going on, Market Space and finding the cheapest doors in Cumberland, Wisconsin or something like that, so.
But if we've heard similar stories in the past, then
Yeah. We can always add it in there.
Yeah.
as a-
Yeah, I'd be very comfortable with that, so.
the wainscoting on the steel is,
Nice.
yeah. Is
Yeah, it
that-
looks good, and then the idea behind that too is when somebody bangs into it, I only have a 3-foot piece to replace, a 3x3 piece.
Oh, that's a good-
Versus having to take off the whole thing, because people are gonna run into it. And then I can keep it nice without having to,
It's normally the snowplow guys that do that.
All right, any more questions before we move on? All right, then we will move on to public input. So if anyone in the audience would like to approach the podium, state your name and address and share with us your thoughts. All right, not seeing anybody rushing to the podium, we'll close public input. We will then also move on to staff discussion. So I think we have one item that we want to at least add, which would be the overhead doors to be of a natural tone color. Adding a little bit onto the number 5, surface water shall be collected and treated, and just maybe state on there to provide the plan to be reviewed along with the building permit application, just for clarity. And then do we want to add a condition about a tree line to keep some of the Northwoods character along that? Any other conditions that I missed?
I mean, trees for screening?
Would that be part of, do we want to specify that for the tree line to say that it's for screening purposes?
Can we do that?
I think you can. You have the ability to say you want screening or whatever. But I think you have to be very, very specific as far as what you're asking for. And, I think previously we've done some of those type of things. We asked for 20-inch trees and we got 14-inch trees, and then we get back and forth. There's also, when you talk about trees, there's also sometimes there's a life expectancy that isn't always held, and how do you enforce that in the past? Unless you have a real vision of what you want, it's pretty hard to dictate that.
My concern, so if you're thinking of putting a fence up, would you have room for a tree? I mean, you know what I mean, if you're gonna be the curbs here and the fence is, realistically, could you plant a tree in 30 years, is it gonna, grow into the fence,
Yeah, and so right now I own the whole property, so it's not
Chris,
too.
come up to the mic.
Sorry. Yeah, so right now, the property is one. I do have everything laid out, so, and even in the impervious, so that I could divide that out. Yeah, I mean, where I would put them is I'd probably end up putting them on, like, I guess it would be the real estate side that would screen it. The one thing too, I would say is like, even on the screening is that, like, I guess, like Jerry says, defining what the screening is could probably lead more into like a pine tree or some kind of a bush or a hedge. And I think from a cosmetic perspective, I would probably be more inclined to do something like a maple tree that's gonna look a little bit cleaner and offer more of a, kind of a lot nicer look, I think, so. But yeah, my plan would be to put some in there, but the buildings are gonna look nice, so I wouldn't wanna put, I wouldn't wanna put something in that's gonna take away from, the way that it looks. And, right now I've got sprinkler systems in, and so, my goal is to, I'm gonna put another zone in so I can keep it all watered, put nice grass in and make it look really nice. So yeah, my plan is to put maple trees in. That's kind of what just cause I think they look good, or like an apple tree maybe, but those are messy too. But so I'd probably be more into more into like a maple.
Does that row, I don't know if I can ask this, row of trees to the north towards the hangar, does that stay?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those are. I mean, some of them I was looking at. Some of them are like they're old. Most of those are like, a lot of them are jack pine,
Okay.
some squirrely looking oaks. Like everything in there is pretty tough. So I'm gonna have to talk to, even get a hold of the neighbor guy and say, hey, I'll take them down, because they're gonna fall either on the power line or my building or your building. So they're all kind of scraggly jack pines in there now for the most part.
Okay.
So-
I just seen trees and I went, oh,
I think the airport would like to have them come down because they block when people come in, or I don't know anything about flying, but I think it affects them a little bit, but, so.
interesting.
Any other questions? Thank you again.
Okay, yep, you bet.
Do we have more discussion, or are we prepared to make a motion? Well, I will start. I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use permit with the conditions laid out, 1 through 5. Also taking item number 5 and modifying that to say, surface water shall be collected and treated on site. A plan will be provided and reviewed along with the building permit app. And then adding number 6, which would be adding overhead doors to be of a natural tone color. And item number 8, to create a tree line to maintain some of the Northwood character, ideally maple trees.
Second?
All right, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you, guys.
All right, moving on to staff reports. Do we have any updates on what we talked about last week with the home business?
To put it bluntly, that's been something that's been going back and forth, and the attorneys involved. We are meeting with those folks next Monday with the attorney. hoping to get it resolved, but that's all I can tell you at this time. We've had numerous conversations, and it's gone back and forth for quite a while.
Okay. Any other report, or do you?
I was just gonna say, it's kind of a dangerous little area there with the school.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's my
They're back
opinion.
in,
Depends who you talk to.
You want an update on the job
Yeah.
posting?
raise?
Or do you want me to?
I can-
That's coming June or July. Ally said probably June or July about the rate for the planning commissioners and council.
They have posted this job. They interviewed, they have decided to go back and repost it. So that's the status of it today.
Is there certain criteria that we're looking for in particular? Or just,
I don't know that I can answer that question, quite frankly. That's what administration is looking for, and I think that's appropriate because that has to be part of their team.
okay. Any other reports, questions? All right, then meeting is adjourned.
Wow.
Woo. Quickest